as the season winds down and there are fewer and fewer teams at play. Beat reporters are working harder, NBA reporters are working harder, and you're starting to see more and more stories about who's going to be available, who's interested in who. Some of it is just dot connecting. Some of it is just speculation. Some of it might be real. Right now, it's just talk. And that's all we doing is we talking. And a name popped up over the weekend that we have talked about quite a bit on this show, namely because we're trying to help out Jesse's Boston Celtics, who appear to be in some sort of financial peril.
Yeah.
Franchise could fold.
It could fold. That's what I've heard. Those are the reports coming from the Boston Globe. Jrue Holiday linked to the Sacramento Kings. Nothing more than the Kings are expected to have interest in Jrue Holiday, which shouldn't be a surprise to anyone paying attention. But it's something that does make sense for both teams. It's a player at a position that makes sense for Sacramento. It's relief that the Boston Celtics need financially. It could be a thing that works out for everybody. So again, there's a lot of dot connecting here. There's a lot of speculation here, but it is a name that we're talking about outside of Sacramento that now is being linked to the Kings.
So I saw this on Saturday or whatever it was about the Kings potentially having interest in Jrue Holiday. And I had tweeted out, I said, for where the Kings are right now, Jrue Holiday or a player like Jrue Holiday is actually a great, realistic option for a pickup or what they may try to do. And people, it wasn't everybody. It went crazy, but some people were like, what? That's crazy. Like Jrue Holiday, he's 34. He makes this amount of money, and that's not going to get you a championship. What are we doing this for? All this other stuff. I said, look, the Kings, as much as some people.
We talking about championship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As much as people want them to. And remind me, if we ever get to bump it or dump it today, I got something very interesting for the Tank crowd. Very, very interesting for the Tank crowd. But
we ain't missing bump it.
The whole mindset of just blow everything up, get rid. That's not happening, guys. It's just that's not happening.
I thought we've accepted that already. Like, what are we doing?
That's not happening. They're not blowing everything up. I don't want to say there's a mandate, but I do think that Vivek and ownership probably wants to try to make the playoffs next year, wants to be in the playoffs next year. That would be my thought process. And especially if you're not in a position where you're just going to sell everything and start all over and tear it down, yeah, try to get to the playoffs. And Jrue Holiday can help with that. He is a point guard, is an organizer that this team needs. Even at his age, I still think he is one of the better perimeter defenders in the game today. He's a guy that can balance out that lineup and balance out that backcourt where if you don't think Zach LaVine is any good as a defender, you can put Jrue Holiday out there and he can help with guarding different guards. And his size allows him to guard both point guards and shooting guards in some respects. I think he'd be a great pickup for the Kings, especially for where they're at. They can't tank. They can't tear it all down. Because of that, you want to win games. I hate to break the news, and we've talked about it a number of different times, but with that roster, yeah, you probably want to win games. You probably want to try and see if you can get into the playoffs. I think Jrue Holiday will help with that.
Is there
Jrue? What would you be looking for from Jrue on this team? Like just his defense and just move the ball around, or
defense, steadiness.
Because he had a career low in points. I mean, going back to his rookie year, he shot like this year. Like I love Jrue Holiday this year. Like he showed, I think, some age.
He's definitely on the end of his career. I don't think it's over though.
Yeah,
I think he can still be productive. And like you said, you're looking for a guy that might average 13 a night. Leadership, play defense, almost like a little bit younger version of what you would hope to get out of Chris Paul. He's not a young Chris Paul because that guy was fantastic and he was a maestro. He's not that.
Mhm.
But if we went and got Chris Paul right now, like you'd be getting like at the end Chris Paul. This is a little bit before the end Chris Paul's, which you might be getting with Jrue Holiday or a poor man's version of that.
I just wonder how much of a dip, if he does take any more, he's like gonna have. Because, like I said, he's just not as quick. He's still good defensively, but he's just looked a step slower.
Mhm.
And I don't know if, like, maybe next year they'll help the Kings, but I don't know if that's something you want to deal with 2 years from now. And I just don't know how much he fits. Like, he's like the position, yes, but he just, I don't know, Jrue just looked a little less like Jrue Holiday this year. Is what I'm saying, I guess. Just didn't shoot the ball well. Wasn't great offensively. He's still really good defensively and all that, but so he did take a step back, I will say.
Can I be honest about Jrue Holiday a little bit? Just a little bit.
No lie.
I think he's great.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
No, Jrue is seriously, I do think he's a really good ball player. I've always thought he's a little overrated. Like that contract when they signed it, everybody's like, "This is great. This is what you got to do. You got to have Jrue Holiday here." That's a lot of money for Jrue Holiday, and now we're seeing it.
Yeah.
But you want that now?
Yeah,
Huh?
but if
You want that now, though?
So let me throw some names out there and see what you guys think about this. I went to 2027 point guard free agents. So that's 25. This is two summers from now. That's because I don't think you're going to be able to get. I'm just trying to be realistic with the DeRozan trade. I don't think somebody's going to give you an expiring contract
Mhm.
in a DeMar DeRozan trade. Like, you're going to have to take a player or something that somebody's looking at like, hey, we got to get off some money or get off this player or something like that. So here's some of the point guards. I won't even deal with Steph, Dame, Luka, SGA. Jrue's right there. DeJounte Murray coming off the Achilles. Would you rather try to trade for him?
No.
Cole Anthony.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I give that one a thought.
Yeah,
I like Cole Anthony.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, I like Cole Anthony. You're not getting Scoot.
Yeah, I don't think he's better, by the way.
Right.
I don't think Cole Anthony's
Right.
better than Jrue Holiday.
You're not getting Scoot. You're not getting Stephon Castle. You're not getting the men. You're not getting Lonzo. Not getting Rob Dillingham. Casey Wallace is here. You're not getting him. Now we're at Devin Carter.
Fine.
Devin Carter, Chris Dunn, guys like that, like Jose Alvarado. I don't know if you're going to find Cole Anthony might be the one, but I don't know if you're going to find a point guard that fits everything that everybody was complaining they wanted just a couple months ago.
You're taking DeMar off this team, adding Jrue. Who else is doing the scoring besides Levine, though?
You gotta hope Keegan scores a little bit more. You gotta hope Sabonis steps his game up.
That might be a more consistent scorer, assuming, of course, that he's here.
Malik Monk is gonna have to get back to, being that.
What does that trade even look like? DeMar and who? Because probably not DeMar by himself.
For DeMar, like the Celtics, the Jrue one?
Yeah,
it's DeMar. Yeah, DeMar for Jrue that works.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, I think the idea would be the Celtics essentially just wanting to shed money.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what's the rules. Can the Celtics do that as a second apron team? Can they just shed money without taking without it? Because it's got to get to 80% of the contract. The salaries have to match up to at least the 80%.
Yeah.
So that reaches the 80%.
Yeah, James, I think, said the deal works straight up this morning on the Insiders.
Okay.
Or something along the lines of that. And yeah, the idea would be like DeMar is Celtic for 1 year, and then you're off his money the year after that.
Just to humor everybody, we can go. Well, this is a name I like. We'll go to people that quote unquote may be expiring this year. Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart.
No, I'm probably never going to say no to that. But
I'll say no to Marcus. I like Marcus Smart actually though,
No,
and he's
You've
expired.
hated Marcus Smart since this show was
true.
started.
That's
You
not,
don't like Marcus Smart, the
We
point
have
guard. Yeah.
evidence.
That's not true. I like Marcus Smart. I take Marcus Smart.
You
Here
said,
in
why does
Sacramento.
that bum keep taking all those shots from
No.
Tatum at the end of the game?
I take Marcus Smart here in a heartbeat. I don't think he's a point guard though. I think it's combo guard / shooting guard.
Yeah. And I don't know that we want to get ourselves in trouble doing that again.
Yeah.
No thanks. I love Marcus, but
We need an organizer.
Colin Sexton. We've talked about him before.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like that
intrigued
name
by
better
Colin
than
Sexton.
I like
Jrue,
Colin
think.
Sexton a lot.
Yeah.
Of the Cleveland Cavaliers, right?
the Cavs.
Shout out, Mitch.
Yeah, that's really about
What's
it.
Colin Sexton's deal look like?
Let's pull him up. I think he's got 1 year left on his deal. He's an unrestricted free agent
Oh,
so this year's an expiring.
yeah, 19.1 next year. Huh.
I'd really try to go after Colin Sexton. I like.
Yeah, I do not hate that at all.
Well, it kind of fits because if it's not working with Levine and those guys, like it fits the timeline if it's time to move on. Or maybe it works.
I think about it. I keep saying I like Colin Sexton. I think he's still young enough. I like his game. I think he brings an equal amount of intensity on both the defensive end and the offensive end. I'm in favor of Colin Sexton being in Sacramento.
I like that one better than Jrue Holiday for the Kings.
Better than Jrue?
Yeah, I agree.
I like that too. I mean, Colin will be 27, or Colin will be 27 next year. All right, we did it.
Great job, well done. Let's go home, everyone.
The ascent of Tyrese Haliburton is going to make Kings fans hate De'Aaron Fox. I think you're thinking too hard. I think the answer is yes, because I damn near hate De'Aaron Fox.
It's misdirected anger from
Maybe.
In reality, you should be angry with Monty McNair, Vivek, Wes Wilcox, and anyone else who gave an opinion in that front office.
Yeah, but they're still Kings. You're like frustrated with them. You're hurt by them. De'Aaron, I think people are going to wind up disliking De'Aaron Fox because of how good Tyrese is.
See, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think all that heat will go towards. Oh, come on, Ray.
Well, what's his name, Casey? What's
his name?
What's his name? By the way, hold on. I'm gonna set the chatty house on fire for a second because we have a new feature that I don't think anyone's tried. Where I think if we hit this button right here, the chats just show up.
Oh my God!
They just show up.
They just show up on the screen. Now this is dangerous.
Now this is for real, like streamer university. Like
this is a tough world. I'm not sure that we're prepared to live in. But over on the chatty house right now, you could just comment.
Drew Downs comment right there.
It pops up on the screen.
Drew Downs said the name.
No, there it is.
I know we're on the radio, but Drew Downs said the name, so it's good.
I like this feature, by the way.
I do too.
You do? You want? So we leave this up?
I don't trust the people chatting, but I like the feature.
Well, we need to. We probably need to make some adjustments to the banner.
Yeah.
But
put them up top, maybe. 102.5 on one side, ESPN 1320 on another.
Well, from what I hear, Jesse and Kyle have been talking to some bigwigs who are trying to help us out with our YouTube channel because they realize we're good at this. So
yeah.
For the first time in 5 years, the company's like, let's invest in this a little bit.
I showed someone.
Hold on. No. See,
what?
You're right. You can't trust because now Steven is just doing wild stuff. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
I see. Steven ruined the party.
All right. Well, Steven.
Everybody go home.
Ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Stephen Brown ruined the new feature. And honestly, we can't let Drew Down messages just be shown on the screen the entire show.
Next thing you know, they're going to be singing the Ramit song.
No, the Chatty House is the biggest group of degenerates I've ever seen.
Those are our degenerates, though.
They are.
Oh, man.
They are.
You got to watch these guys, man. You got to watch them.
However, your boy, Ram, was right.
Well,
I think
he's the only one that said that.
I don't think he is.
I think Fox will there's things of his own doing outside of Tyrese Haliburton that maybe makes people.
Oh,
feel that
for
way.
sure, for sure.
But I do
I think it'll get magnified though.
I think the
That
heat
was the
goes mostly, I won't say solely, but mostly to Monty McNair.
All right. I mean, he deserves all of the heat. Well, yeah, he does.
Monty McNair, like looking at it today, Monty McNair ended up trading the best player out of this group of three that's been connected since the trade.
Mhm.
Like Tyrese is the better player out of De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. And it's just tough because like you still could have made something work with Fox and Sabonis. It wasn't like, oh, you made the trade and it was all just over after that.
Right.
Like that wasn't the case at all. You could have
Right.
did something, but you just stayed still the entire time, and that's how we are, like where we are now.
And that's why I don't necessarily like the comparison of they traded, and I'm not shooting at Justin, but they traded the best player and all this other stuff, because I still think De'Aaron Fox is the best player.
I'm off that train.
I think he's the best player.
I jumped off that train, ran my ass over.
But let me ask you guys this, and it goes to Jesse's point. If Monty McNair pulls the trigger and gets Pascal Siakam instead of oh boy in Indiana, do you think we're having the same conversation?
I'm the last part confused me. If
Monty McNair
goes and gets Pascal Siakam and the Pacers don't.
Yeah, because almost this comes down to who made that move to help their guy.
Yeah. No, I do. I absolutely believe it's a different conversation.
And that's so
absolutely.
That's why.
But
I think that.
But
you got to tell the whole story.
But the story gonna be too goddamn long. because that everything you just said is right, which is why the idea of directing your anger at Monty McNair or your frustration at Monty McNair is perfectly fair. What I said in the text is what I believe to be true. De'Aaron went to a spot now where he could be the second guy or the third. I said this after the man scored 60. He has, in my opinion, I believe this to be true today. He has no concept of how good he is. None. And I do not believe that man has a desire to be great. I think he has a desire I absolutely believe he has a desire to win, be good. I think he is perfectly okay being Wemby's guy. I think he's perfectly fine with that. And salute, he's going to live happily ever after. He's going to have a place in this league a very, very long time. He's going to have a place in San Antonio probably for a really long time in that role.
He's content with the situation.
He doesn't have to be him. And I don't think that bothers him. For the Pacers to be where they are, Ty has to be him. For the Kings to go where everyone in this fan base desperately wants them to, wherever that may be, where they haven't been the last 2 seasons, Domas has to be great. San Antonio hinges on one individual, and it's not De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for me. It's hard to. I just don't see him as the best player anymore.
Fox is going to get like 25, 26, and whatever. Tyrese is not ever going to average that many points, but like Tyrese has just taken every moment this postseason and just kind of made it all his.
Yeah.
Like
he's been the star of this postseason, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And part of that is winning. Like if Jalen was up 3-1, I think Jalen would have been the star of this postseason, but he's not.
He's just got that switch that we talk about that kind of sets the superstars from the stars, or whatever you want to call it.
He absolutely does. But in defense of De'Aaron, just a little bit, it's getting further and further away from this moment. But he was going toe to toe with one of the GOATs too.
Absolutely,
he was going toe to toe, point for point, and he had the Warriors shook. They weren't able to continue on that path.
But that's part of the story.
But that's a little out of De'Aaron's control, right? Like he did his job, so to speak, but to elevate and get to another level, to get to another stage. They needed everybody to do what they were supposed to do.
You're right. In terms of that offseason.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. But like they lost that series and it felt like a starting point. That's what that series with Golden State felt like. It felt like a starting point and it wasn't. It was the end.
And you know what? And man, I'm always crapping on this guy, and I don't mean to because I like him and I respect his basketball mind. But I heard something today. I think it was Zach Lowe was talking about Rick Carlisle and how people have to look at Rick Carlisle a little different and what he's accomplished in his coaching career.
Sure.
And one of the things that he says is one of the absolute pluses to Rick Carlisle, if you look at his career and look at his teams that he's coached, is he adapts to his team. He doesn't have a system of Rick Carlisle. He looks at what he has and says, this is what we need to do to be successful. And that's what we didn't have here.
Yeah. And he's shown that. Like Rick has shown that just in this version of the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
And with Mike Brown, we had something that was working. And he said, this is not what I believe can win. I need to change this a little bit. And I need to change the roster a little bit and do all this other stuff. And it completely failed. Completely failed. All right. Let me ask you a question. This might start something. Damn. I'm just trying to ask a question though.
All right, man.
If LeBron is the greatest of all time in basketball, why isn't Drake the greatest rapper of all time? And I'll tell you where this comes from real quick for you answer.
Yeah.
I saw today he set I don't know if it was a hip hop record or just a music record, getting his 10th diamond certified song. He's definitely the only rapper that has that.
I think I don't
think he's the only artist. I
don't think so either. It's a short list. It's a single digit list.
Yeah.
And it might even be a one-hand list.
And one of them didn't include Best I Ever Had, right? Because I think that was a mixtape for a long time. So somebody was like, he could have like 12. And I'm just looking at the resume. I don't think he's like the best rapper, like talented rapper or wordsmith or nothing like that. But the resume is, we ain't never seen nothing like this in rap. And it's the same thing we say for LeBron because of the numbers he accumulates. And we don't look at, like, we get upset. I get upset too when people are like, well, Jordan was 6-0. Like he's the best because of that. And it's like, well, hold on, man. Look at all that LeBron has accomplished. How can you dismiss that? And I just asked the same thing about Drake.
So you willing to admit LeBron's the best ever?
I don't know if LeBron is. I still say it's Mike. But when people have the argument of LeBron James, they talk about the resume and the numbers. And when do we not talk about resume and numbers, right? When we talk about Drake.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's music. I guess music's different. So it just depends how much you put into stock, the numbers and all that.
It's subjective as to like what you like. Like if you made an argument that he's the greatest of all time, like, yeah, you got the numbers to back it up.
And mind you, I don't think he is. I still say Jay-Z. I still Jay's the best of all time. But this was kind of the original argument we had like years ago. It's like the numbers that he is accumulating.
It's like the Michael Jackson Prince argument. There are people who will argue with that Prince is the greatest of all time because Prince played all of his own instruments. He was an actual musician. Michael was a performer. He was a singer and a performer. And it really depends on like what you hold weight in. For me, Drake doesn't say anything that I care about. Like I get it. Bend that ass over. Let that cooch. Like I get why people like that. Like I understand. Shit, SZA's doing it on the tour. Like that's one of the biggest moments of the show. And it's like I get that, but for me, like someone's got to talk. Someone's got to I'm the opposite of you. I sometimes when I listen to it, I want to hear the story of either the album or the song or the record. Like I still pick up on things that I didn't pick up on the first 20 spins of an album. You know what I mean? I did that to Pimp a Butterfly like 2 weeks ago. I told you I was listening to that. Like he went from You that ends with him like battling the thought of killing himself. Like that's the record. He's talking about fighting the urges to end his life. And you know what the next song is? All Right. All Right's the next record. I never picked up on that before. And the whole trajectory of the album changes. After that song, when that song plays, the entire album changes after that. It's like the caterpillar to the butterfly to go along with the title of the album. I don't know why you did that.
Well,
I kept throwing me off because I felt like a radio conversation and the break was hella long.
Well, see,
no, it's a good conversation.
So the whole thing, and I know you guys hate this, but things pop up on the drive up here, right? So I'm getting ready for the show or whatever when I'm at home, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go ahead and talk about this. And then things pop up on the drive up here, whether I'm listening to something or somebody texts. And what I saw that Drake thing on the way to work about another Diamond song, and I'm gonna just say the only rapper because I think
I don't know that that's true. I think he's the artist with the if I have this right, Drake officially has the most Diamond certifications of any artist of all time. That's from Complex Music, the magazine, not the DJ.
So I saw it. I was like, I know everybody had their fun with him last year for the better part of a year, but I do think a discussion should be had once about him being the greatest. I think Jay-Z is the greatest of all time. And I don't know if there's going to be anything to get me off of that stance. I don't know if there's anything Drake can do to get me off of that stance, but I'm willing to listen to a conversation though after the resume that he's.
So the conversation we were having during the break is, a little further research. Post Malone has 9.
Wow. That's crazy.
Wait.
That's crazy.
No. Hold on a second.
Diamond certified.
No. The artist with the most certified diamond records is Post Malone with 9. No. He's also the first artist to receive 10 diamond certifications because Sunflower is double diamond.
Sunflower is 20 million or 20. What is that?
I think so. Okay, so it's 20. Diamond is 10, so a double diamond is 20 plus.
Jeez.
Ree has 7. Drake just got new ones. That's why this is a story. Best I Ever Had, and
they did include.
There was one other one. I forgot what it was. That took him from 7 up to 10. So I guess it's him and Post Malone. I'm a little confused by the wording of Post Malone. But if you want to go see Post Malone, tune in to D-Lo and KC at 3 o'clock. Well, never mind. Forget it. I don't know. Tune in whenever you want. I don't care. Listen on.
Wait, what do you mean? What's going on?
But like with you, and I like the comp that you brought up. Like when we talk about LeBron, his numbers, his longevity, we talk about his greatness. We use these numbers. Why don't we do the same with Drake? Like you can make music is so subjective, right? And it's really just what you like listening to. I have made it clear for a couple of years, leaned into it pretty hard the last year. I just don't like listening to Drake. He has songs that I like. It's not like, oh, I hate this dude. Like he'll have a record that'll pop up on my, curated station. It's like, oh, when he raps, that boy can go. It's just not my preference to listen to him. Like, I think Kendrick's a better storyteller. I think Jay-Z's a better storyteller. I think Jay-Z's a better rapper. I think Big, probably the best rapper out of all of them, but he can't really be in the conversation anymore. Like, I think I'm real enough to be, he can't be in the conversation with really 2 albums. I don't count Born Again, and I don't count all of the trash that Sean put out after that.
Duets was okay.
but it was garbage.
Well,
like it was.
the one song was okay.
He had that song was extreme trash.
Was it?
He has. I don't care how many people played it. That song was trash. But he has two of the greatest albums that were ever composed, but he can't be in the conversation. Drake is absolutely. It's no different than the Jordan LeBron conversation. If you're having an honest conversation about the greatest rapper of all time, the list isn't very. You're not open. Well, man, Bun B could go. Like, no, man. Like, with all due respect to the Rakims and the Run DMCs, like, you can really drop this list down to a small handful of guys. Hove is one. There are people who are going to want to work Lil Wayne in there. I'll listen. I don't know that I wouldn't. I think I could fight for any person in a debate class. I don't know. Wayne is the one I wouldn't want to fight for. I'd rather fight for LL than Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Wayne. So here's the other thing about it, right? Is not only is music subjective, but it's also, how do I say this? Probably a little generational too, right?
Yeah.
Because, well, what do we talk about a lot of times with Jordan and Jordan versus LeBron? We're like, yeah, I know these numbers say this and all, but I was there for Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I was there for his impact. I was there for what he did to the league and what he did for the culture and society and all this other stuff. And you can't put that into points per game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was there for that, and I'm here for LeBron, and I see there's a difference. But you talk to, I guess, Reese, maybe even a little younger than him, his introduction to sports, to basketball, is LeBron James. And the impact LeBron has on him is the same that we say the impact Jordan has on us.
Yeah.
And you talk about music, and I talk about Big or Jay-Z and all this other stuff, and I was there. Once again, no disrespect to anybody or no insensitivity, but I was there when even on 9/11, lines were outside of Best Buy to go get the blueprint. Yeah, like that's crazy. We didn't know what was going on, yet people were still like, I got to go get the blueprint today. I was there for that. But you find somebody, the age range is probably like 27 to 35, who Drake is the soundtrack of their life, damn near. And they're like, I remember where I was in junior high when this Drake song came out. I remember the feeling I got in high school when this Drake song came out. I remember the first time when I turned 21, this was the Drake song that was playing in the club. And it's much like somebody with LeBron James and the impression that he left on that generation, because it's tied into so many emotional moments and so many firsts and all this other stuff. Drake has that type of impact. Kendrick has that type of impact.
Well,
and it's just, they would say that's their goats. When we say Jay-Z and all this, Kirstie Alley and Look Who's Talking.
Everybody knows Kirstie Alley's and Look Who's Talking. It's Kirstie Alley and John Travolta. What are you doing? You're out here begging for points.
Not everybody remembered that. Not everybody remembers.
Look Who's Talking. Everyone knows that.
It's a shame.
Oh, this guy definitely don't know Look Who's Talking. Listen to him.
Why can't I know Look Who's Talking?
There's no chance.
Kirstie Alley and John Travolta.
You've never seen Look Who's. Yeah, what is Look Who's Talking about? Hold on. No, explain to our people on camera what Look Who's Talking is about.
Ain't no way he knows.
It's about a couple who finds each other at the end of the movie.
This is
they love each other.
This is Kenny describing Office episodes.
It's an 80s movie. I don't know. Is it an 80s movie?
Maybe
early 90s.
Yeah, I'm sure they are not together at the beginning, and then they're kind of connected in some way. Then they find love at the end, right?
Terrible.
Keep going with the plot of Look Who's Talking.
I don't know, man. What?
Look Who's Talking is about a baby who you can hear the baby's thoughts.
Yeah, I was off.
Now what I can't remember is John Travolta is not the voice. Is Bruce Willis the voice?
Bruce Willis is the voice.
But John Travolta is in the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Bruce Willis is the voice. And then they had Look Who's Talking too.
They did.
And who was the baby girl? Whose voice was that? Look Who's Talking is 89.
Wow.
I got that right. I need a point for that one.
What for what?
I said it was an 80s movie.
Both of you two are absolutely begging right now. It's kind of gross.
Look Who's Talking 2.
It's amazing that there was a sequel to that. Oh, there were two sequels.
Well, Look Who's Talking Now could
Yep.
have stayed. But you have to do Look Who's Talking 2.
Boy, look at
Who's
that.
Talking one was iconic.
No, I got you. Roseanne Barr was in.
Oh, she was
one of the voices. So was Damon Wayans.
I'm looking at this little black kid right now. I'm looking. Oh man, I used to love those movies.
Me too.
When they would come on HBO.
Man, Kirstie Alley and John Travolta did all three of them. Danny DeVito was in the third one. Diane Keaton was in the third one.
So those movies had to have made money, right?
So the third one, the third one lost money.
John Travolta there.
The third one was budgeted at 22. It made 10.3 at the box office. Look Who's Talking 1. God.
Oh, okay.
Damn it.
Do you have what it cost and what they made?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say.
Hey, we can do it.
Let's do it.
We can do it. This is crazy.
Let's do it.
This is crazy.
All right. Okay. Tell me what you say. What it costs.
I don't even know how to
You just say what it costs.
The budget for Look Who's Talking 1 with John Travolta and Kirstie Alley in 1989 was $7.5 million. How much?
Hey, what the hell? This is not Pocket Watchers, bro. Like, you're not stealing a win off of this.
How much? All right, Jesse's right.
What the hell does he mean? What do you mean he's right?
This is not Pocket Watchers.
Hell
no. Wins out here.
How much did Look Who's Talking make at the box office?
Go ahead.
Again, budgeted at $7.5 million. Reminder, John Travolta's in the movie. Kirstie Alley is in the movie. Bruce Willis is the voice of the baby. And they made 2 more. $7.5 million. How much did it make?
The face you made, this has got to be like some absurd number. I'll go 50.
Run it back because the beat hit at the wrong time.
50
million.
Boom.
Man,
35.
Jesse, not your bag. In fact, both of you lose because you're not even close.
What did it make?
No,
$297 million.
Crazy. First of all, that is
a profit.
They were laundering money. There's
a
no way,
profit of $289.5 million.
I know money laundering when I see it.
That is bananas.
That is crazy.
No chance.
Wow.
We're watching Look Who's Talking this week.
Look Who's Talking 2.
Yeah, you had to make 2.
Look Who's Talking 2. So they don't give us the budget for this one, but remember the first one was 7.5.
I'll say 15 million.
The second one was 22. So it's safe to say it's probably in the middle. Number 2, probably a disappointment.
135.
$120.9 million.
What is wrong with those people that?
Goodness. Well, you had to make 3.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm saying.
blame them now. You had to make 3.
It had to make money. It made all the money, I guess.
You had to make 3.
So 4 years later, the world is done with talking babies. As Look Who's Talking Now grossed $10 million. 290 million less than the first one.
Sorry, bro. There's no way.
Well, they're not done with talking babies. If you remember the plot of that one, they're done with talking animals because that's who was talking.
That's right.
You're telling me
That's right.
John Bull
That's
says
right.
279 million in 1989 and 700 million today. I don't know if that's fact check.
That's-
You telling me Look Who's Talking was doing Spider-Man numbers?
Dude, it's
Bro,
DC comic
that was
movies.
a major movie in '89. That movie, I remember seeing that in the theaters.
Why?
Oh yeah, because it's a talking baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was the POV of a baby. Everything in life was the POV of a baby.
By the way, this show's gone. So if y'all left, like I wouldn't blame you. Hold on. I need to highest grossing movies of 1989.
Those dudes probably made that
Like,
movie.
is that Batman? I was gonna
Batman,
say, is
yeah,
that the
Batman.
Batman year?
I think that's Batman year.
Is Batman number 1 or number 2?
Number 1.
Nope.
What?
Also coming out in 1989,
Top
at
gun?
$474.1 million.
What the hell?
Indiana Jones and the Last
Oh,
Crusade.
okay. I still think if you would have told me that movie, I would have thought Batman.
Number
made more,
2,
but-
$411.5 million.
What the Haliburton?
Batman.
Oh my goodness.
Number 3. I didn't realize this was 1989. Back to the Future, Part 2. The one you're familiar
yes,
with.
Yes.
$332.9 million.
There's a one, right?
And number 4 was Look Who's Talking.
Wow.
I can't fathom that.
Also in the top 10, Lethal Weapon 2, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Hey, dog, you got to watch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You think he'd enjoy it right
seen
now?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
You think he'd enjoy it right
I have
now?
no memories of
Do
it.
you
If I
think
saw it, it was probably like
No, he's too
way
old.
back
Do you don't think it holds up today?
Yeah, I think it does for kids.
I can appreciate a good movie. Like if it's stupid,
Yeah,
like
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids will hold up.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it'll hold up.
That's a good movie.
We'll throw it on the
Ghostbusters
list for the
2,
summer.
The Little
Bruh.
Mermaid, and Born on the 4th
What
of
the
July.
hell? Is 1989 the greatest cinematic year ever?
That's a hell of a year.
What the hell?
That's a hell of a year.
What the hell, Barry? That's crazy. Who had a really good criteria to the superstar conversation. And it's not exact. Like you don't have to check this box off or anything else like that. But I thought it was a good way of looking at what a superstar is, because I don't think there's a lot of superstars. I think there's maybe a handful. And one of his things was, when you're on the road, do people say, I've got to go to that game because you're coming to town?
Oh, that's a good one.
And that's a hell of a, it's not the only criteria, because like
That's
I
a
don't
good
know if they necessarily say it for SGA, but SGA is one of the stars. He's MVP and all this other stuff. So
Well, I think the conversation about SGA being a superstar is being had.
it kind of
And maybe I mean that criteria is that's an inch. Man, how many players? Go ahead.
Can you how can you be an MVP but not be a superstar?
because you can be really, really good. Like you can be really.
Are there
good.
less than 10 superstars in the league?
I would say yes.
Because man, that going to see thing is, God, that's a killer right now. Because just immediately, it's obviously Steph, Bron, and Wemby immediately come to mind. Giannis probably on that list too.
Giannis on that list.
Do you go see Dame Lillard, or did you go see Dame Lillard?
Nah, not like.
At one point, like Dame's not a
that's
superstar.
borderline.
Do you
anymore.
go see Jokic?
Not really.
Man,
See, but
that's
Jokic has to be a
tough.
superstar. So
Like,
Jokic
I don't
has to be a
know.
superstar, though.
Like we have to. Okay,
So, I don't
we've got to
know.
work through this criteria. That's
Yeah, I
tough.
don't. You can be.
At that point, it's just who's box office. Then, if you're box office, then you're a superstar. I guess that's the
Yeah.
criteria. It's
I
not.
think that's what a superstar is.
Durant,
Yes.
you went to see Durant. You go. You go see Anthony Edwards, don't you?
Absolutely. Did we say Giannis already?
Yeah.
Giannis is there.
I mean, do you go see Joe? This is
that was
tough,
that
man.
was
Like-
borderline.
like
he's like on the
Joel.
He's on the Dame
Really?
level. I think when they were
When
on.
he's a complete human
Right.
being.
Tyler Jennings in the chat says, "Is LaMelo a superstar then?" He hasn't done anything to gain that status. I feel.
People may not like it. I think.
Don't do that.
They
Don't
may
do
not.
that. Like you're really. I don't know how to phrase this. I don't know how to phrase this.
I'm just.
I don't know how to phrase this. I'll just say my bad in advance. You're really tapped in with the kids. And I don't know, like
sorry.
Like I mean, I don't know, like I know, like you coach, and you coach the kids, and like you're, that feels like a
The only thing LaMelo doesn't
like
have,
recent. That's like the kids who, man, this is gonna sound. Please understand what I'm saying. And Cole, hang on one second, because I really want to hear what you have to say after your Thunder advance. The kids who are like, man, I want to go see Melo. I love LaMelo. He's my favorite player. Are the ones who are like, hey, can I go see Playboy Cardi?
Maybe so.
Lil Durk is coming to Ace of Spades. Can we go? Like,
Maybe so, but I think that once again, that's part of the criteria. It's like we talk about with like the greatest of all time. Your numbers, album sales, or whatever alone doesn't make you the GOAT. It's part of the conversation.
How many of the different categories can you make up to be a superstar, to be a GOAT, to be whatever?
And to me, the only one LaMelo doesn't have, and it may be the most important one to a lot of people, is the winning aspect. He does everything else. He's exciting to watch. He has the numbers. People go to see him. He sells the shoes. The only thing he doesn't have is winning.
Does he have all NBA teams?
LaMelo?
Yeah.
No.
He's not. No, he didn't.
No.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have any accolades.
You can't be a superstar and not have accolades.
No.
Like, come on. There's got to be some honor in this game here.
I'm just. I think the criteria of people tapping in to see you, either on TV or going and spending their hard-earned money, because I have to see you because you're in my city.
That's just someone's favorite player. Everyone's got favorite players, though.
Giannis ain't my favorite player, and he come to town. I gotta go see Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis is a physical marvel.
Yeah, Giannis is like Giannis is a champion. Also, like Giannis is a champion, top player of all time. Like, just I feel like the accolades is what makes him a superstar. Why you go see him?
So you're leaning accolades. You're leaning box office.
Yeah, I think. Well, from what I hear, Jesse says that shouldn't matter.
Well, the box office matters.
Well, no, I think he said it's a part of it.
Yeah, it's a part of it, but also like I can't. And put it this way: Jokic to me is a superstar, and LaMelo would not be.
And that's fair. I'm not going to argue with anybody who says that, because LaMelo doesn't have the winning. That is a criteria for what I have, but it's literally when in those two, it's literally one has all the boxes checked, the other one doesn't, but the one that has all the box checked doesn't have the most important one, and the other one does. That's kind of what that is. But that's fine.
But I like the way Madrid phrases. He's equating some of the things KC's saying to IG followers.
But that.
And Jokic also isn't.
I don't think he means that as shade. I get the reference.
So I'll put it to you like this: is the best is a superstar singer or rapper always the most talented?
No.
But they're superstars, right?
Yeah.
They are. That's what we're talking about.
May I present Sexy Red?
Right. That like. Somebody would say,
who can actually go?
Someone would say, like, the one person that comes to my mind all the time is like, Ashanti's not the greatest singer, but she's a star. She got a 20-something year career because she's beautiful. She's a great songwriter. She doesn't have a
20-something year career. She has songs from 20 years ago that still get played today.
Yeah, but she's still able to tour. She's able to go out, sell out venues or something like that.
Securing, I think, he's got a decent point right here too. Like LaMelo coming to town, and I guess this kind of plays in part. Like he doesn't like no one's paying extra money for LaMelo coming to town. Like those tickets, if they're coming to play Sacramento,
that's a solid
$15 or whatever.
That's a solid. That's a solid reference.
That's fine. Look, I'm not here to convince you that LaMelo is a superstar. If you don't think he's a superstar, if you don't think he's a superstar for your criteria, that's fine. I'm just telling you, there's a lot that, to me, the one criteria he doesn't check is winning. And
what are give me the criterias? Winning, box office.
Box office. Do they come to see you on the road?
Well, that's box office.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah. You've got the
eyeballs, or is that the same?
Yeah. I mean, I put that in the category as
okay.
Box office. I think, so you know how I am. The shoe thing matters. You know, are people kids,
marketability?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Marketability. Okay. Got that. And just the entertainment,
which LaMelo has, yeah,
yep, yeah, the number one selling shoe, basketball shoe, and then just watch basketball. Like, are you entertaining to watch? Are you fun to watch? Do I marvel at some of the things you do? Jokic has that.
I'm gonna dumb that down. Highlights. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we got box office, we got accolades, box office, marketability, and highlights. Okay, let's get Cole in here. Cole, our resident Thunder fan who wants very famously fired the Thunder coach on this show and was right. Cole, how you feeling?
Thunder up. Y'all know how I'm feeling. That's what's up. Hey, what's up, D-Lo? What's up, Casey? What's up, Jesse?
What's up, big dog?
All I called to say is, when y'all gonna start giving us our props? Not just y'all, the media and everything. Everybody like Ant-Man is crowning Ant-Man and Timberwolves. We are the better team. So what do the Thunder have to do? Everybody was sticking the Nuggets. Like, what do we have to do to get our props? That's all I want to know. Y'all stay up.
Okay. All right. So, okay, you called with an attitude today, Cole. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why so many people are talking about Minnesota today, and I genuinely believe that this is the truth. We've got a couple more weeks to talk about the Thunder. Mm-hmm. We can't talk about Anthony Davis, or we might not be able to talk about Minnesota past tonight. Mm-hmm. There's a good chance the finals get set tonight. All it is, Cole, is timing. Yeah. Look at it like this, and I get it. As a Thunder fan, you feel like your squad is being disrespected, but look at it like this: if the Pacers win tonight, we've got the Pacers and the Thunder. There'll be a postmortem on the Knicks, for 24 hours. What do? Do they run it back? Do they need to make some changes? Why did they fall short? What happened? Can they compete with the Indianas and the Bostons and so on again next year? And then we're off. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be inundated with how great this Thunder team is. You're going to be inundated with the next generation of, superstars. Mm-hmm. That is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That is Tyrese Haliburton. Like, all of that is still ahead. You've got to do the autopsy on the Minnesota Timberwolves right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder deserve all of the praise in the world because they are having what is, I think they're flirting with a historic season, a historically dominant season. What they've done is absolutely incredible, and I don't look down at it at all. Whether I liked Minnesota or not, whether I like that Denver Nuggets team or not, in terms of the way that they were structured, Sam Presti has built this team beautifully. He's one of the greatest general managers we've ever seen. There could be a time, if the Thunder wind up winning the title, Sam Presti's name is mentioned next to Jerry West. Like, that is a very, very real possibility. Mm-hmm. And those conversations can still be had. Mm-hmm. The Anthony Edwards conversation, the Minnesota Timberwolves conversation, that conversation can't be had tomorrow morning.
No, and you're spot on with that. And I'll even say this to Cole and everyone, or, because we got Matt. I don't know how long we have him for. So
Matt's is he? Oh, he's here.
Yeah,
he's here.
I'll remember.
I didn't even see him.
I would call, if you're listening, everybody else, there's other aspects to it that I feel like we just got to be real with ourselves about. Like, we got to be real. So we'll talk about it.
What's up, Matt?
No, I'm here early because I think calling LaMelo Ball a superstar is ridiculously absurd.
Oh man, wow! He's talking about your mama.
And here's the thing: I just did a podcast today on whether or not the Sacramento Kings should go and trade for LaMelo Ball. I like LaMelo Ball as a player tremendously.
Has that podcast dropped yet?
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's out.
So go listen to the Locked On Kings podcast at 4:00 or 7:00 if you like hip hop. But are you in on the idea or no?
I think LaMelo Ball checks the three major boxes for what the Sacramento Kings could potentially be looking for: a young star to build around, a talent that helps them still compete immediately, and a point guard. Like, he checks all three of those boxes. So that doesn't mean that it's going to work out.
We got a special guy. We got a legend in the building. I'm gonna tell you right now, he might talk a little basketball with us too, because my man, he know hoop too. We've got the legend Dusty Baker in the building. Come on, man. Dusty Baker. All right. The legend. Man, Dusty. I tell this to Dusty all the time because me and Darren, his son, we fostered a relationship in the last couple of years. And every time I see Dusty, I be like, Dusty, you was like my uncle, man. You was like my uncle when I was a young Giants fan, man, senior in 93 and all the way to 2002. So it's always an honor.
Something I tell people, like, I love my dad. Mm-hmm. And I could tell my dad almost anything. Yeah. But I could tell my uncle everything.
That's right.
And that's the thing about the uncles.
That's right. That's right.
Especially if they're cool.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, look, you're a baseball legend. Yeah. I want to talk baseball, but I know people talk to you baseball all the time. You know hoops. You're at all the Kings games.
I love hoops. I don't go to all of them. My son goes all of them.
Okay.
I go to some.
I see you all the time. Yeah. I see you all the time.
But my dad, he was the biggest Kings fan that there was.
Really?
Yeah, and I've been a season ticket holder mostly for my dad because I wasn't here a lot of times.
Yeah.
Since 1985.
Okay.
And I was one of the original 12.
There we go.
Yeah, and I'm happy to see Doug Christie get the job because we go to the same post office. And I asked him, I said, man, when are they going to take that interim off coach that they introduce you every day?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, maybe someday. And so now they can take that interim off. But what were you talking about the Knicks? Because, man.
So here's the thing, Dusty. I'm born and raised in Sacramento. I am a diehard Kings fan. Yeah. I love the Kings. But I like to call myself a Knicks supporter. Yeah. I really like the Knicks. I've always liked them.
I like the Knicks,
I've always liked them. Yeah. See, he knows.
Since Clyde the Glide.
Come on,
Willis
man.
Reed.
He knows.
Earl the Pearl. I knew.
The interesting thing was I was 8, 9, 10 years old. I was obviously like anybody else in the early 90s. I was a Jordan fan, right? Love the Bulls.
Oh, yeah.
And I hated those Knicks teams. I hated. They used to beat the hell out of I hated those Knicks teams. But then I got older and then I understood toughness and competitive. I was like, I kind of like John Starks. I wish we had a Charles Oakley, all this other stuff. So I kind of like the Knicks for that.
But you know something? That's how I was as a kid. I hated the Celtics and the Yankees because I was in Riverside at the time before I moved up here at 15.
Yeah.
And they used to beat the Dodgers all the time, the Yankees, and the Celtics used to beat the Lakers. But once I got into pro ball and got into coaching, I wanted to be just like them.
That's right.
Because I wanted to win
mold your teams like those.
Oh,
those
I wanted to
teams.
win like every year. And I remember one of the greatest conversations that I had was with the late Bill Russell. And I've used this on my teams. And I asked Bill, I said, man, what was the secret of you guys' success? I thought he was going to say determination, perseverance. He goes, we loved each other. I said, what? He says, yeah, we loved each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, that'll take you a long ways, which is how I see Okie City right now. It seems like they love each other.
Yeah, that's facts.
Or Haliburton and Indiana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I think the Knicks have that too, though.
Yeah, they do. And you know something? We have seen some of the greatest basketball, I think, in the last decade, night after night after night.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to get home. I don't want to be late at all. I want to be sitting in front of my TV with a little glass of scotch watching the basketball.
So Dusty, like I said, you're my man, and I hope you understand when I ask this. So, big Giants fan my whole life. 2002. I feel like it's a little easier to talk about it now because you are a world champion and you've been to the mountaintop. But I say all the time with 2002, it's like getting stitches. I got stitches above my eye, right? I've healed. Giants have won other World Series. I've seen you win a World Series. I was really happy about that. I've healed, but the scar is there forever, right? Talking about Knicks Pacers. And I think if the Knicks get game 6, I think that might be a little too much for the Pacers. And I kind of equate that.
But you know something? I kind of, when I was looking at John Starks the other day, and they were talking, they kept showing his face and showing how, I guess he missed a couple free throws at the end there.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I know how you feel, John. Because I like John. And, people a lot of times say, hey, Dusty, you great career, but you should have left Russell Ortiz in there. A great career, should have this and that. I said, hey, man, I was reading something the other day that said if I had until after the game to decide, I might have done something different too.
Right.
But at the time, you do what you think. You do what you think is right. And as a manager, it was a lot easier as a player because I can have a direct impact on the outcome of the game as a player. As a manager, I'm depending on you to make me look good or bad. And
that makes it even more nerve-wracking.
Yeah, for real. For sure. And you talking about nerve-wracking. See, I just came from Rochester, New York, watching Darren play. It was freezing. I'm talking 47 every day. I saw the sun one day out of a week, and that was the day I was leaving. Hey, man, to be a parent, I was thinking about my dad. To be a parent and watching your son play or daughter play, man, that was more nerve-wracking than any games that I've ever been in.
My son, he's 12 years old, plays baseball, plays the travel baseball, and I'm just
Yeah.
I'm a mess.
Anytime a ball's hit to him, you're
Yeah.
like, come on, son, or up with bases loaded.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
man. It happened the other day.
Whatever.
They were in the last inning. Even this was just like a scrimmage game against another all-star team in gold.
Yeah.
And last inning, and he was in the hole, 2 outs. I was like, man, guy in front of him, get a hit so he can get up and get a chance to hit the game winner. So then he did. The guy in front of him did get a hit, and then he comes up to the plate. And I'm like, oh, it actually happened. Like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
You willed it.
All right. Now we're actually here. See what happens. It's a game-winning RBI single in the left center. Yeah, man.
Oh,
I was hyped.
hey,
I was
man.
hyped.
You know something? I told my son, going back to the last out of the game, Billy Williams, I was a rookie. He told me, Dusty, see how many times I love Billy Williams with the Cubs.
Yeah.
And we're born on the same day. So,
When's your birthday?
June 15th.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah,
right,
coming
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I'll be 76.
There we go.
Trombones.
Come on, man.
And so Billy told me, Dusty, try to go through your career and never make the last out of a ball game. I was like, I'll try that.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I did it, but it was always on my mind.
Right. That's a mindset to have.
Yeah. And I told that to my son the other day. He goes, Dad, I was up last, man, and I didn't make the last out.
There we go.
I said, go ahead, son.
I'm gonna tell my son that. I'm gonna play him this and be like, this is what a Hall of Famer said. Try and keep this in your mind.
I'm just passing on knowledge.
I
didn't make it up.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Just pass it on down, man.
All right, man. I got to cut out of here.
Yeah, Dusty, you are the man. I see this every time I see him, but you're the man. I thank you as a lifelong Giants fan for just, number one, what you did bringing success to San Francisco.
Yeah.
But like you just did just now, you taught me the game.
Yeah.
There were things that I would watch and the strategy that you would have, and I learned the game by watching you manage the game and watching how you dealt with some of the players and stuff like that. I saw some last night. They had a little 15-minute video on Bonds and Kent.
Ooh,
and the way you handled that. It was just that I coach now too, and I'm like,
this is you know something though, before I leave, I just want to give a shout out to all the bad dudes that I grew up with here in Sacramento. Because I'm telling you, we had we had like 20-something guys in the big leagues at the same time years ago. And we were all proud of like, hey, homie, you got to pick it up, man. Yeah. You know, we had Jerry Manuel, we had Rolling Off with Jerry Royster, and before us, slightly before us, Bob Oliver, Derek Lee's dad, Leron Lee. I mean, Larry Boa.
They play baseball out here.
Dude, we played some baseball.
They play baseball out here.
Yes,
man.
We did play some baseball. We was proud.
Yeah.
We were proud of being, from Sacramento.
Yes, sir. Dusty, you are the man. I appreciate you. Tell Darren I said what's up.
I sure
Tell
will.
Darren he need to come on here too, man. We need to talk to him too, man.
Well, as soon as he get back home.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right.
No doubt.
All right.
Appreciate you,
Later.
Dusty, man.